We do love this time of the week. It is our Friday Fun Forum. And again, for those watching, this is when I can have a cheeky little drink at the end of the week. If you see me having a little sip here of my Chardonnay, which I've got, just hang on a sec.
I like that. That's good.
It's a nice little Californian. I think I do this most Fridays. It's a boggle. Just thought I'd tell you.
What the heck is that?
It's the brand. It's
okay.
The vineyard of California, Boggle.
I know nothing of this.
Some say Boogle. I say Boggle. Joining me now, good mate, ex-broadcaster, and we love having him on the show, Nick Trott. Trotty, hello.
Good afternoon to you. Good evening, isn't it?
Good evening. Now, we were hoping to have you on the show last week, but what did you go and do to yourself?
As you can tell, I've hardly got any voice, so...
Sounds sexy.
It's influenza A, which is doing the rounds apparently, but I don't know. Didn't go to my doctor.
Oh,
Just soldiered on.
Yeah, I think when you rang last week, you were literally, I just really got to lose my voice. So now you just sound kind of mysterious.
It's doing the rounds. Everyone at our
Horrible.
work who, the funny thing is, everyone who got the flu vaccine was in bed for a week with it, whereas I wasn't. I had about 2 days of aches and then just an annoying cough, which I couldn't shift, and then it's just damaged my voice, which some people say is good because it means you keep quiet.
Well, Nick,
but I've been resting it all day today.
Good for the show. What a professional.
For the show. I know.
Let's start actually, because I just had a chat with Clive Matthew Wilson from the dogandlemon.com about manual versus automatic drivers, who's better. And he actually, I thought he was going to poo-poo my prattle as he always does, but he says the best driver is a mindful driver, and he said when you have a manual, you are a mindful driver because you're going downhill, you've got to change down, going up, you've got to do the same. You're always thinking. So he's basically, he said, yep, manual drivers, we rule. Boom, boom.
Yep. But it all becomes muscle memory, though, doesn't it? I mean, do you even think about having to change gear or brake or clutch when you do it or anything? Or do you just bang it through, doesn't it? It comes natural.
Well, I've got an automatic now, but when I do, I didn't get my first automatic till my mid-20s, and as you know, I'm only 35, so I haven't had an automatic for ages.
Yeah, I was going to say they would have been out for a while.
But I drove a manual over Christmas. My sister lent us one of her little car to take you to around the South Island, and I loved it. And it took a while Trotty, to get used to it again. Yeah.
Ooh. We've got a few young people at work at Camco Industries.
Yeah.
And don't forget to get your new Camco stealth canopy for just $8,500 plus GST, complete with central locking.
Trotty.
Lighting and fitting in just 2 weeks. CamcoIndustries.co.nz for more info.
Okay.
And anyway, if it's a manual ute that shows up getting a fit out, someone has to bring it in for them into the fitting bays.
Oh, what?
And it's great. It's a hoot because we will stand around and give them absolute shit.
Kelly had a she's got a saying that I'd never heard before. What's a millennial? What was it, Kelly?
The manual car is a millennial anti-theft device, basically. If it's a manual transmission, so you're safe.
It's hard to find a manual nowadays, though. Even most of the utes we get into fit out are all automatic. So
I know. Yeah, that's what they're doing. All right, hey.
But as you said before, though, you don't have to think about driving now. You know, adaptive cruise control, lane assist, blind spot indicator.
It's too late. It's too lazy.
And you take your eyes off to check your phone.
What about your beautiful daughters? They're driving, right? Obviously, they've been driving probably for quite some time. Did they learn on automatic?
No, we didn't have an automatic to teach them. So,
good.
Yeah, lazy parenting.
Love it.
Just
only way to go.
Got them a little. They bought a little Honda Fits each. So,
matching cars. Check them out.
Yeah. Oh, cute. I know.
Can we we're going to kind of stay with cars, more into car parks. I spoke about parking in mobility car parks. There was this horrible story of a guy in Northland that was assaulted after asking an able-bodied driver not to use a disability car park. So, that was, terrible story. But I'm not making light of it, but the Disability Issues Minister, Louise Upton, announced this week that the fines for those that do that is going to go from $150 to $750. That's a huge jump, Nick, and that's fine. I mean, I'm kind of like, yeah, get it. But why are we not raising fines for people that use their phone? Because that can potentially kill people. Why are we not? Why are we still $150 if a cop catches you texting? It just seems unbalanced.
How many people do you see when you're at the lights and you just look over and you go, yeah, I know what you're doing, eyes down, eyes down.
Yeah.
Was an Aussie a couple of weeks ago, and no one texts. No one texts while driving.
Wow.
And it is noticeable when you're driving around. There's no one with their head down. But yeah, let's up the fine. I mean, is that going to stop people though? But I actually, I very rarely see a non-permitted vehicle in a disabled spot. And I mean, the parents' parking spots, they're the ones you can abuse. You don't need to display a permit. You just get a baby on board sticker, whack it on the back, bingo, primo parking spots, front of the mall. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Someone calls you out, you just go, oh shit, left them in the warehouse. Thanks, mate. I was just going to grab them. But I can see the frustration though, because for those without a disabled permit, is the fact that there seems to be so many of those parking spaces not being used.
Yeah,
if there's a row of 10 disabled parking spots at the front of the mall, how many of them are being used? And you're looking for a spot, they're free. And why are they always in the best positions? I mean, put them down the back of the parking lot. It's not like because
they got to get to the door.
Yeah, but it's not like they have to walk. They're in wheelchairs with wheels. And they usually got a caregiver pushing them.
Not
and
all
it's
of
the
them, Nick.
It's the caregiver's car, and they're not disabled, so why do they get the permit?
Trotty. Yeah,
Have I gone too far yet?
Oh, no, not at all. Hey, someone has said, to be honest, Leah, you could probably pass for 35 years old based on your platform photo. Was that photoshopped? Hey, Mike, I'll tell you what. I sent that in, right, when I got the job, and Sean goes, hey, Leah, I need a photo for the platform. And I was like, I don't know. And I went back, trotty, into my photos I took for my agent, and I thought, is that kind of, I still kind of look like that? And it was, and I must admit, Mike, this is honest, I took it, it's 8 years old. So, yeah, it's pretty old, I suppose, 8 years. But I like to think I haven't changed.
Mine is the same, though. Yeah,
and I used it, but what they did do is they kind of zhuzhed it up a little bit, and this I didn't know this, Mike. And they've made me really white. I'm actually whiter than Michael Laws in the picture.
You can't get any whiter than Michael Laws.
I know. So there's a picture of Sean, Michael Laws, Martin Devlin, and me, and I think I'm whiter out of all of them. Hilarious. Hey, police body cameras. I spoke with Police Association Chris Cahill, and police are not going to even think about it for another 10 months. They've been grappling with this for 5 years.
Mate, it has to be part of the equipment, like the taser, I reckon. And I think most cops would want them, especially when you see the idiots that they've got to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's going to cut down on time wasting and for court cases, because most of those are a he said, she said. Like how do you plead, Mr. Trott? Oh, not guilty. Well, please take a look at this footage from the arresting officer. Is that you urinating in the doorway of your local Green Party office? Yeah, looks like me. Oh, guilty. Bang, there you go. I mean, you can. But if funding is part of the problem here, we'll sell it to DVNZ. Police 10-7 back in business, and put the cameras on the dog units. Look at that. And you can and open it up to the TAP. How long before this guy gets caught and bitten?
Trotty, I like it. Turn it into a reality show.
I'm an ideas man. You know me.
You are. I do. We are in the Friday Fun Forum. Nick Trott, broadcaster, Trotty. Well, I say ex-broadcaster, but I like to say broadcaster. Trotty, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, right? $232,440 found in the roof of this couple's house that they'd bought 5 months previous. So they'd had it for 5 months, got a leaky up there. And lo and behold, he finds all this money in sealed plastic bags. Now, here's where I think they went wrong. They told the cops. Now, I would have paid off the electrician and given him, $1,000 or something and said bye-bye. But now it's gone to court. Like, the judge is now deciding whether they should be allowed to keep it, or because it could be drug, from illicit drug deals. So I don't know, what would you have done? What do you think should be done with it?
Well, why didn't they just ring the IRD and say, hey, look, I've found $200,000. Where do you want me to send the cheque for $78,000? I presume that's 39% tax rate I have to pay on it. Might as well have done that, mate. And rather than tell the cops, what